So, why am I saying all this bullshit? Well, honestly, because no matter what happens, no matter what you have seen with your own eyes, don't trust what you hear. It doesn't matter what you hear. The words you hear, or the sentences you hear, or the stuff you hear, that contains messages for you. Yes, sure. But there is no importance in the details. The details change due to circumstances. And this is why you can't take life and look at it in a microscope. It is simply impossible, because once you start measuring, you have stopped a process from doing whatever it's doing. It's the same like, a guy comes down the street and you walks up to him and say, "What are you doing?" Well, that's a stupid question, because he was walking, yes, and he was on his way somewhere and so on, but right now he's stopping up to talk to you, to answer your question. So why are you asking this? This is, yeah, this is, an illusion that you don't notice, because, well, when you get too focused on one thing, everything else becomes a blur. So try and keep your eye on the big picture, because then the blurriness will be details, and the details will always be the same. They will come as they come. You just have to solve the problem as you see it. It's not art or magic or anything. It just takes time, just a bit of time. If you don't waste time on thinking about it, just, you might find a friend near you somewhere who will say, wait, I met this boy the other day, and he said this, he told me this story, and man, I just think you should hear this story. And all of a sudden, within this story comes your answer, out of nowhere. And I'm like, no way, that doesn't happen. It happens, because those are random chances of life. Those are like, those are like what is actually sometimes called a miracle. And to me, it is a miracle, because it is strange, but it doesn't matter as much as we think it does. And it doesn't it's not the way to look for answers, because that is an illusion, or a lucky incident, to be more exact. You cannot speak with the TV, for instance. That is like nuts. It might seem like you can, but at some point you will have confused yourself so much that you won't even notice it doesn't fit right, and all of a sudden, when it doesn't fit right anymore, you think you have lost track of communication or something bullshit like that. And well, you have, but you thought you had a communication and you didn't. So you didn't actually lose track of communication. You thought you lost that track of communication, which is the key, or the which is the common misunderstanding in this, you know. Yeah, I have seen many strange things in my life that I wasn't even aware of, and I'm still not actually aware of it, because it sort of helped me get confused, because I put too much into it, you know. I put stuff into it like, oh, it's a message from God, or oh, it's I don't know, you know, it's whatever, you know. Oh, there is no difference for me there is no difference between God and Allah. They are both the same person, or the same thing, or the same being, and they are so much more than this third dimension we live in, that when or if God comes to this place, it will not matter to the rest of it, because it's only a representation of God. So don't worry about if everything is going to blow up or something like that, because now God is here, how can he be here and not there, and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work like that. That is human logic, you know, and human logic says that if you take a ball and you put light on it, you will get light from here to here if the light comes from here. But if you see in reality, something happens. I don't know what it is, but that is life. Something happens and the light goes around a bit like this. Not so much maybe, but it does. And that means that logic is good, but it is only a ruler. It is not the ruler, you know. It is logic is something that you can adjust, because logic is what comes most natural to you. It is it's anyway, back to this, but the light somehow goes beyond the middle and into what some people call the dark side, and which I call the side that is not in the sun. And and this logical illusion we can move, which makes it a tool, you know. So when you see Star Trek and they use logic, you know, they use a different kind of logic than we understand sometimes, because their logic is not based in our reality, or in our way of looking at things. It's based in their relationship to life and what path they took. So I know it's Star Trek and it's and well, no, it's not. If you want, you can learn everything there is to know from anything there is in this universe. The problem is, how the fuck do I learn everything from this fucking ball? Well, you don't. What you do is, you look at this ball, and then you look at something else, and then you look at something else, and then you look at the ball, and then you keep going like that. And one day, when you look at the ball, you will see something else than what you saw the first time you looked at the ball. That is life. That is how things go.